Hi, welcome back to my channel, Refining Amy. This is my 6-month update. This is also a part of my series, Mirror Mirror, because it is every 3 months I give a little bit more in-depth look at what I'm thinking and things that I haven't really discussed in my monthly updates or even my weekly videos. Alright, so stay tuned for some great stats and pictures and videos. Okay, so a little bit of background. Hi, I'm Amy. I'm 45. I'm 5'1", and on March 19th, 2019, I had VSG surgery in Vegas for Blossom Bariatrics. Dr. Tom Umbach was my surgeon. Okay, let's get right into the stats. I'm going to tell you that these are going to come out a little bit different because my page that I write stuff down on and the picture thing that you will see is going to be a little bit skewed. It's just that I wrote it down differently and I've been recording it differently by pen than my app does. So there you have it. All right, so for September 19th, my 6-month update, my weight is the same as the other day. I'm 195.5. That is a loss from last month of 200.2. I have lost 4.7 pounds. And for the entire thing from my beginning weight of 292.3, I have lost 96.8 pounds. I do need to say that this is from when I got the app, and the app, oh gosh, when did I start the app? It was back in February. Okay, so it isn't from my very beginning. February 4th is when I started the app and I weighed 285. So just a little heads up if that's how it works out. All right, so again, okay, so all of my measurements are from that February 4th date. Okay, my neck is the same. I haven't lost any off of that. It's 14. And also I need to say that these are out of order from what you're going to see because my notes have a different thing than what the app did. Okay, so my neck is 14 inches. That is a total loss from my beginning measurements of 2.5. My shoulders are the same at 45 inches. That is a total loss of 12 inches though. And that is not from point A to point B. It is around. My chest is 45. That is a loss of 1.5 inches this month. And my chest is like my bust area, the biggest part, you know. And that is a loss of 15 inches total. From my waist, 41 inches. I've lost 1 inch this month. That is 16 total inches lost. From my hips, there are 45 inches. I have lost 1 inch this month, and that is a total of 16th and an 1/8 inch lost. From my forearms are 10 and 1/8, and that is a 1/8 inch loss this month, and a total loss of 1.78 inch off of one arm, but a total loss of both of them of 3 3/4 inches. My biceps are 13.12. That is 0 loss this month, but a total loss of 5.5 inches. Is a loss for both of them of 11 inches. My thighs are 22.5 inches. That is a loss of a 1/2 inch this month. Is a total loss of 6.5 inches off one, but 13 inches total. My calves are 14 inches. That is a loss of a 1/2 inch. That's 4 inches off of one and 8 inches total. Now, that is all total off of just one side, like everything, and just like one arm, one leg, that sort of thing. I've lost 79.5 inches. But if you do both, double up my arms, my forearms, my thighs, my calves, that sort of thing, I have lost a total of 97 oh, no, let me do the conversion. So 97 3/8 inches, and that is over 8 feet tall. So, wow. Okay, so I did some calculation and found out my beginning weight of 292.3. That gave me a BMI of 51.8. My BMI today is 34.6. My BMI loss from this month, from last month, was 4.625. So I had to do the math real quick. And so my total BMI loss from my beginning weight till today, the total points that I've lost off of my BMI is 17.2. Okay, so those are my stats. I'm going to play some videos and then post some pictures right now so you can see some comparison shots from my beginning stats of my measurements until today, and there's some like step-by-step progression videos that are going to come up too. So take a look. Okay, so some non-scale victories that I can put on my list are I'm out of set plus size section since July 14th. I haven't really said anything about it, but I'm not wearing any extra larges anymore. They're all larges since September. I can paint my toenails with these. I probably could have done this before, but guess what? I didn't try because I was going and having it done. Well, school was starting and I didn't have time with all of the stuff going on with me going to school, getting my classroom set up. I never had time to go get my pedicure, and so I painted my own nails and it was just fine. My hubby can pick me up. I don't know if I've reported this. In August, I started wearing a size 16. In September, as it's beginning, I'm wearing 14s. Let's see. I'm really noticing one of the things I wanted is to have a lot of tub space around me. So when I'm sitting in the tub, like I didn't feel like it's being pinned in. So there's a lot of tub space around me, which is nice when you're adding more hot water. You're able to swish it around a lot easier. When I lay on my side, I definitely feel my hip bone. I know I talked about this before, but now it's like protruding. I'm also finding that when I'm sitting, my butt hurts. And I didn't think about that, but it's not really a victory, but something's going on. Let's see. I can wear my large t-shirts from Vegas that I bought before surgery. I think I showed you guys that before, but I just wanted to say that again. I'm also able, go golfing and all that stuff. And I think I told you about that before, but it doesn't hurt to say it again. Okay, so now for my mirror part, the thoughts, those inner thoughts and the things that I've been mulling over and trying to formulate to get it to where people might understand what I'm thinking about. So that's this part where my mirror, this is where I'm reflecting back to you what's going on with me. Okay, I'm gonna say this and I might make some people upset with me, but I feel like a lot of negative connotation has come about with people having this surgery and failed marriages. I am personally a believer that if you have weight loss surgery and you have a failed marriage, your marriage was already failed before the weight loss surgery. You cannot blame it on that. It's just finally you recognized your worth. And that is a totally different story. This journey requires open communication. You cannot just simply like have thoughts and feelings and never share them with your spouse, and then one day say, hey, you know, and just unload on them. In fact, my biggest supporter is my husband. He is wowed by my stats, my pictures, and just my dedication to this journey itself. So I don't understand. I would say that you need to make sure that your spouse is on board and reassure them. If they're struggling with your decision to do this, they might be wondering where they're going to fit in with this. And where my husband fits in with this is right by my side. You know, I want to be able to enjoy my life with him. And so that's why, you know, I want to live my life. I don't want to be on the sidelines. I don't want to, you know, be a supporting role. I don't want to do any of those things. So I'm like adamant that I am healthy and I am able-bodied to do the things I want to do. So, but my husband and I, because, you know, he watched some things, so we were getting ready, and he's like, I just don't get it. I don't understand how you can love someone and not what's best for them. And I was like, I know. And then I was like, it's got to be something that's going on with everyone beforehand. They haven't been open and honest about their relationship to begin with. You know, I've even talked with him about like being so honest with him and saying, hey, I know I have a goal in mind and I know me. And if I get to the point where I'm no longer looking healthy or something's going on and you're like, hey, you need to settle down. Because I want him to be that for me. We talk about, and I share with him sometimes how I can look at myself and go, oh yeah, I've lost a lot of weight. And then there are times when I still see some of the, I mean, obviously I know I'm not the same size, but I still carry on that baggage of the other me, if that makes sense. My mind's eye changes. I mean, everyone gets confronted with what they see, but mentally, sometimes I haven't reached that stage yet. Like, I started out really needing to not even wear 3X's and should have been in 4X's, and 26s, 28s were tight. I should have had I wear size 22, 24 pants. The 22s were like already, should have been marked 24s and they were tight, you know, that sort of thing. Because, you know, the sizes are different for different brands, and you're like, okay, I'm at least still a size whatever. Well, no, in any other brand, you would have been, you know, a size 1000, you know, whatever it was. But that's what I was faced with. Who I see, the new norm always is prevalent. I kind of, you know, it's hard because I do see me as what everyone else sees. And that's always what I'm confronted with. But every now and then I'll come across like a memory on Facebook or something, and I'll find an old picture, and I am completely impacted by the fact of how utterly miserable I was. And I wasn't really even aware of how miserable I was. Because I just sat there and I was like, oh, yeah, I'm happy. There were aspects of my life where I was completely happy. But it wasn't with me. Like, I would be happy about, you know, yes, I do a good job at work, blah, 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 blah. I loved my family. I loved being with my kids. I loved us doing things. But I wasn't happy because sometimes I would just have to watch and couldn't join in. So, but I wasn't always aware of how much that impacted me until I go back and I look at a picture. And when, especially when I wasn't posing, and people would catch me off, like I wasn't looking at them and I was just kind of off on my own in my thoughts, and you could see the sadness. So that's where I am. You know, I still know that within me, I still am the happy eater, the bored eater, the okay eater, the whatever eater that I can figure out that I can be at that moment. I know that's still within me because sometimes I'm like, okay, well, you know, oh, I want to have some of that. And then I'm thinking, why? You're not hungry. Why are you wanting, okay, if it's not related to helping you get in your calories and it's not helping you reach your protein goals, why are you wanting to put it in your mouth? And so, you know, I'm admitting that I was a food junkie, an addict. I was, because that helped fulfill that deeper sadness that I never really embraced and admitted to. So one thing that I'm doing is I'm learning how to deal with issues as I come across them. I'm at work and I'm stressed out. I can't go grab whatever, a handful of candy and shove it in my mouth and then call myself happy. I have to deal with the problem. I have to deal with the emotions that I'm dealing with instead of hiding behind food. And so that's something that I'm working on. I have to do that when I'm bored. I can't just have a bag of chips and say, call it even, or, you know, half a tub of ice cream or whatever it is, you know. Now, I will tell you, I am resolute. I do not cheat. I have been using my tool to the maximum. That was my goal from the very beginning. I would not, absolutely not go against that. My goal, I wanted to be at 100 pounds lost at 6 months. I didn't make it. I'm not upset about it. I am 195.5. To be 100 pounds lost, I would have to be 192.3. Okay? Wow. How close am I? And I'm not going to beat myself up over meeting this, you know, magical number that I pulled out of my ass, honestly. And so I want to do this because I read it or I heard on YouTube, or, you know, someone else that I was watching that they lost 100 pounds at that point. Well, jolly for them. I'm not them, and I am okay with that. So, you know, here we are. So what's life like at 6 months out? I'm able to do whatever I want to do. I can eat whatever I wanted to eat. I chose not to. Like, the kids will go, well, can you eat that? Well, yeah, I can eat anything I damn well please. I'm a grown-ass woman, you understand? But I choose not to because I'm valuing the money that I've spent and this time that's afforded me of this magical time frame that I can lose the maximum amount of weight. Because as we can see, if you look at my stats, things started, they're like coming off. I'll still lose weight, but it's not going to be the rapid, you know, 5-10 pounds here. You know, that's what it's like. Now I'm getting into, hey, I'm a normal person and I have to do better, or I have to do this, or I have to do that. And, you know, I'm finding that out. The cool thing is now that I hit 6 months, I can add in fruit, and I'm excited about that. Today I had my first orange. I didn't finish my orange, but hey, I'm still working on it. So I live by my promise that I will do what my doctors tell me to do, that I will absolutely use this honeymoon phase to the max. And so, you know, people say, well, how did you do it? How are you doing this? How is it that you've lost so much more weight than I am? And I want to go, hey, what are you doing that's different from me? Now, if you're doing the exact same thing, you could be just a slower loser. I did find out when I went for, one of the things they did is they measured my metabolism, and when I started the actual, and I feel like what jump started it was my pre-op diet. It just kind of, because I started losing crazy then, and so I was like, okay, my metabolism's working again. And so that's what they said. My metabolism's not going to be a problem, so I'm going to be able to lose the weight. And that's a fantastic thing to learn. So maybe you need to find out what your metabolic rate is, and if you're having too much, you need to adjust. I know that my weight loss is slowed down because my metabolic rate is up here, and so I should be having more calories, but I can't get them in. And so I'm constantly trying to get these more calories in, and since they won't come in because my little tiny tummy won't take them in, you know, and I won't put the junk in. I've made a promise to myself until I hit goal. No, there are no cheats. There are no, and I view that as a cheat right now. Once I hit goal and I'm learning to maintain my weight, adding those things back into my diet is normal. But until I get to where I want to be, that's not happening, because that's the promise I made to myself. And I told my spouse about it, and, you know, he supports me in that. He doesn't, you know, it's not like, okay, well, hey, you want to have some of this? He knows the answer. I'm not going to want to have any of it. So he doesn't even try to tempt me with anything. But I also don't demand any of that stuff to leave my home, because that's not fair to everyone else. And here's the thing. Here's the real kicker. If you don't have the willpower to say no for yourself without having, you know, oh, I just can't have it in the house. Guess what? You are destined to fail, because eventually that stuff's going to come back in the house. And if you never learn how to say no, guess what? You're not going to be able to when you finally say, okay, it's okay for it to come back in the house. You're going to put more and more into your body, and then you're going to start gaining weight. Some takeaways that I've experienced is people are very happy, and they're probably in the same zone that I'm in, that I was in when I knew people had had weight loss surgery, and I was happy for them, but I was insanely jealous for myself. And at first I was like, I'm a terrible person, but then I realized I'm not. Being envious of something that you really want for yourself is not a terrible thing. It just means that you have to make it and design a goal to get to where you can get what you want. And, you know, I never felt bad for them. I felt bad for me because I wanted it. And so here I am, and I'm right where I am. And I think some people are just kind of flabbergasted by the changes, and they don't really know how to process it themselves. And especially people who haven't seen me along. Or all of a sudden, you know, I'm at work and I wear something and they're like, wow, you really have lost a lot of weight. And I'm like, yep, where you been? 6 months, you know. And I had it during spring break and came back, and then I started losing before ever, you know, the school year ended. So it wasn't like people didn't see me. But I think sometimes the comments that happen, and I could be completely off base about this, but I think some of the comments that happen sometimes is because people were comfortable with me being the fat girl. I'm still plenty fat, don't get me wrong, but me being bigger than them. And as I'm getting closer to their weight or surpass their weight, I guess that's not really, I'm lower than their weight. Now it's kind of like, damn, I got to do something about myself, okay? And I think that's why sometimes it's not even like a real negative comment. It's maybe even how I take it. I don't know. But sometimes I feel like that goes on because I just go, that was kind of catty or underhanded or whatever. And I'm like, oh, thanks. For the compliment, kinda. Anyways, I know it's how I felt in the past of being envious or jealous, but I was still excited for those people that had had this surgery. That wasn't what it was, just I really wanted it for me. So, and maybe other people are that way too. They really wish they could have it too, and they can't, or they feel like they can't. Sometimes my thoughts are all over the place, but sometimes I can take the size that I am, the reality, the whatever it is, what do you want to call that? The new norm. I can take that and I go, oh yeah, that's what size I am. But every now and then, like, I'll see a picture of me or something. And the other day, I literally had to ask my husband and my daughter, am I really that small? And they're like, yeah, you are. And I was like, oh. And I think that's like sometimes it just catches me off guard. And because for so long I was morbidly obese, and I'm no longer morbidly obese. I'm still obese, but I'm not morbidly obese. So there you have it. Sometimes, I'm going to be honest with you guys, the hair loss and the loose skin gets to me. Of course, my hubby, he assures me that any of the loose skin doesn't bother him in the slightest. He still has no problem with that. But I know sometimes I'm like, ugh. But I'm going to say this about plastics, because everyone says, are you going to have plastics? And I'm not like saying yes or no either way. It would, to me, it's like an equation whether or not, okay, am I having problems with rashes? I had a couple of them. I haven't here recently or anything, but I would never do anything until after a year of maintenance anyways. So even if I ever do, it's way off, okay? Because I still have to get to my goal and then maintain it for a year before I would do anything. Because I want to give my body a chance to kind of slow down and catch up with what's been going on. You know, with rapid weight loss, there's going to be excess skin. The elasticity in your skin just isn't going to bounce back that easily. So you know about that. So that's where I am. My mirror is, my mirror is looking pretty damn good, and I'm excited about the changes. I'm excited about knowing that I'm in the right mindset and I am able to move forward. And I know that I'm dealing with those things that come into my life, and I'm setting myself up to be highly successful in this and it be long term. And that to me is so empowering. So if you're not in the right headspace, work on it. You have to work on it. So anyways, you guys stay safe, enjoy yourself. I'll come back with you next month and everything with more stats and everything, but this, the deeper look with my mirror will happen again on my 9th month, and then again at my year. But I appreciate all of you. Take care and have a great evening. I love you guys. Bye-bye.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.